What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today? Guys, we are here to talk about Alien Earth, Season 1, Episode 1 and 2. I am your host, Emmanuel Eman Noisette. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming out to hang out with me. Or if you're watching on the replay, that is also all good. First and foremost, before we get started, in case you are new, the way I'm going to go about this is we're going to go through the episodes. I will give my thoughts and commentary throughout the episodes. And then, of course, at the end, I'll give my rating, I'll give my review, and then you guys will give me your review as well. But first and foremost, I got to let y'all know, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Some of y'all got this thing about you. Some people, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, y'all would rather sit here and watch me talk about the show than actually go watch the show and then come and join us, as we go over the show. I'm not judging. That's fine. But if you have not watched the episodes, if you are looking to be surprised, if you want to, go on this roller coaster ride that the show provides, please go watch the episodes and then come on back. Right? Come on back. Now, just so you guys know I am late with this. If you follow me on my regular Friday night lives, I told you, actually it was Saturday last time we did it. I told you it was the daughter's birthday weekend, so I just didn't have time. All right, I didn't have time, but we are going to catch up. So I'm going to do episode 1 and 2 today, and then I will go live again tomorrow. Then we will go over episode 3. And then right after that, on Wednesday, we will also go over the brand new, as of today, episode 4. So we will get caught up. Okay, I know I'm behind, but we will get caught up. So I'm doing the 1 and 2 today, episode 3 tomorrow, and then episode 4, because this comes out on Tuesdays. You will have an extra day to go ahead and watch it. I'm not gonna rush y'all, and then we'll talk about it on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then after that, we will do this every Wednesday. Okay. So after that, once we're caught up, every Wednesday after these episodes, we'll go live. We'll talk about it and go through it. Okay. All right. So let us see who is here. I know it might not be a lot, and that's okay. But let's see who made it out. We got the mod squad come on through with Chris and Pratt. Thank you so much for holding it down. Johnny, good to see you. Appreciate you. Excuse me? Play the Alien Isolation game? I'm sorry. You mean the game where you have to run and hide from the alien in a big old spaceship? You mean the game that thrives on claustrophobia and those vibes? You want me to play that game? Are you mad? What? No, thank you. No, thank you. You're talking about the same game where the alien literally gets smarter so you can't outwit the computer. You go hide in a locker, and then they find you in the locker. You can't hide in that locker no more because the alien got smarter. You want me to play that game? Hold on. I got to hit you with the cigar. No. 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 Absolutely not. I shall not ever play that game. No. I've seen the cutscenes of that game, and that was enough. I know the story. I'm good. And I'm a fan of the franchise. I love this franchise, and this show is already making me a bigger fan, but I will never play that game. That's just, it's not happening. But thank you, but no thank you. Mitch, appreciate you coming through, man. Thank you so much. Only Samke, appreciate you as well. Paulette is here. Hello, my man Sheed. How you doing? Talented One, what is up? Theo, I see you. Shout out to the replay gang. Bo say, what is going on? Kid Mello, good to see you. YB, hello. Christy, hello. Good to see you as well. My man Mike is here. Good to see you. Let's see. Mad, what is up? Hello, how are you? Who else? I see my man Toby is here. Phil Roy is here. Appreciate y'all. Jonathan, thank you so much for making it out. Thank you. Oh, you found out today I'm an Android guy? Yes. Yes, listen, I've been an Android dude since the G1. Okay, yes, I just dated myself. Yeah, the very first Android phone, that was my first phone too. So yeah, I've been on that all day. Andrew, hello. Who else did I see? I think I saw somebody else coming in. Well, either way, shout out to everyone that's made it out or watching on replay. Appreciate y'all in advance. So let's see. We got my man Mike. What you say here? Glad to be back. These helped me through my week. Man, you and me both. I'm like, I told you, I'm tired of adulting. Okay, I'm tired of it. I mean, I'm doing a little adulting here, but at least this is something I like doing. I don't like having to talk to plumbers and the insurance companies and my schools and the I don't nobody want to do all that. You know, I know you have to for the babies and stuff, but I want to get back to business. Okay. Thank you, brother, for the support. I appreciate it. All right, guys. So let's get into this. We are going to do episode 1 of Alien Earth. Like I said, we're going to recap it. Then we'll come back. Feel free if you guys got any comments to go ahead and drop those. I'm going to go through the episode so we can talk about what happened and then we can get going on the rest of this. All right, so let's see. We've got, first of all, we kicked this off properly, and I like this. Okay, from the very beginning, this thing gave us an introduction into this world that probably could have been an entire spinoff on its own. We got 3 different races for immortality. Now, if you've watched Alien, Prometheus, or Covenant, then you knew that the Weyland-Yutani group, they have been chasing immortality all this time, right? Weyland wanted to do that, and he thought that by contacting those engineers and, you know, messing around with these aliens and stuff, that that was going to be the way they could find immortality, by studying them or talking to them, whatever. So this has been a very, very long thing that they've been trying to do, a long pursuit. But now I like this idea that we've always had synths, right? We've always had the synthetic androids. That's been a constant this whole time. But what we did not know was that they had cyborgs. We had no idea that cyborgs existed in this world, and that adds a completely different element to this whole component. Now, we also learned that there's this thing called hybrids, where they're synthetics with human consciousnesses. So that in itself is a completely mind-blowing concept, because this is going to add probably a whole new wrinkle to the whole Alien franchise. And I mean, my mind, the moment I saw this screen, my mind started going all over the place, because I'm sitting here thinking, like, have there been other hybrids that we didn't know about in the other Alien movies? Do we know if other cyborgs have existed and we just didn't know? Like, they just blew up the whole franchise just with this one screen, to me. So I definitely like that. And I'm interested and curious to see where this show is going to keep going with it. So we have that. And, you know, we're back on this ship, and this is right back into the Alien 1, you know, the Ridley Scott type of style. You know, we're back on the ship. You got the same kind of computer technology. And we see here that it's the year 2120. I forget, I don't have the timeline, but I want to say this was like just a couple years. Let me see if I can pull it up, because I know that this is between, it's before, is it after Alien? Oh, I always forget. It's definitely before Alien Romulus. I want to say it's a couple years after Covenant. I'm pretty sure it's after a couple like 2 years after Alien Covenant. So it's real early in the Alien franchise with this. So this is definitely something, and we see that there are some different species that are out there. This mission length that they have, they're supposed to be out there for 65 years. We see folks are waking up, and the whole crew, all of this looks very, very reminiscent to again, the first Alien movie. And here's one thing that, first of all, I want to pinpoint. I thought, And I could be wrong. And I don't know you guys thinking. This Mr. Tang dude, we gonna talk about him a little bit more. I thought this dude was an android. Or maybe he's a cyborg. I don't really know. I don't think that any of that is even clear. All I know is that dude, Buddy is weird, but the fact that he's in this capsule right here, I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, the synthetics, they don't need to be in capsules. So I'm guessing he is human-ish, maybe. But anyway, we'll get into that. Let's see. Now we see the crew here. And again, this is very, very reminiscent of the very first Alien movie. They even kind of look very similar. And here he go. Here he go. Something has to be going on with this Mr. Tang dude. Why is he sitting here being a whole creep over old girl's capsule like that? We don't really know. But we do find out here that the comm system is down, right? The comm system is down. And Morrow, the black brother right here, he's in charge of security. And he was like, hey, all that comm stuff, we'll take care of it. I'll take care of it, right? Already suspect. And then, of course, we learn that he is a cyborg. And once again, we see Mr. Tang just like, what is he doing? He's just so nasty. Just sitting there creeping over the old girl's capsule like that. Anyway, we hear from the engineer that now we're getting more backstory from the whole situation of what's going on in this world. He talked about how there were all these companies and how they were taking over North America, South America. One of them takes over the moon. One of them is on Mars and Saturn and all this stuff. And there's a new game in town, a new company run by this guy, Boy Cavalier, and he's the one that is in charge of Prodigy. Now, Prodigy is the fifth company. They're the new company in town, or at least so far. And look at this dude once again. Here he go, Mr. Tang. Like, he's sitting here already creeping on the other girl, and you notice how awkwardly he just sat, just like this. This is why I was wondering, okay, maybe he was a synthetic. I'm like, okay, if you're a synthetic, maybe you don't understand personal space. But I'm starting to believe he ain't no synthetic. I'm starting to really think he's just a creep. And you can see her face. She's like, yo, get Buddy away from me. Okay. And even Morrow had to check him a couple times, like, hey, Mr. Tang, get your butt over there. Get out of here, Mr. Tang. Just weird. Anyway, and just the way he was like talking to people, he was talking all weird and stuff to him, talking like, oh yeah, we'll be there in 1,000 seconds and blah, blah, blah. Something's off with him. I don't like him. Something is clearly off, but we're going to find out. Anyway, as we go through, we see the captain here, and they're basically trying to make sure that everything is all set. Now we learn here that the specimens that they've captured on this ship, that is the top priority. There is nothing else more important. And we see Morrow is like, yo, I don't care what y'all talking about. The only thing I want to talk about is these specimens and how we gonna make it back with these specimens. Point blank, period. That's it. Ain't no other conversation outside of that. Now, here's the other crazy thing. We keep seeing these flashbacks of whatever this stuff is. Maybe these are the specimens. Maybe these are other stuff. One thing is for sure. We are getting, and I like this so far, we are getting a lot of different cuts and a lot of different flashes because clearly something happens with this space crew. Something happens, earlier in this event or later at this point. And my guess is that this is going to be another full-fledged story somewhere else. But I like the fact that they keep teasing us with this for now with these little flashbacks and stuff. So really good editing on that. But yeah, Morrow's like, yo, we about these specimens, and that's about it. And by the way, I don't know if y'all caught this, but the engineer, he had said something. He was like, hey man, it's not like, I ain't going out like that with all these companies out here putting stuff in our food and controlling people's minds. Now, we're not going to just dismiss what he said as if that was just some random conspiracy theory. Like, these companies literally run the galaxies. Like, they run stuff as if they were countries. So I'm not going to dismiss that. And I do think that that is something we need to just kind of remember, that apparently one of these 5 companies has the ability to put stuff in people's food and control them. I'm just going to believe it. I'm just believing it that it is true. But anyway, we see the black lady. I believe she's the zoologist here. She's in charge of the specimens and stuff. She's feeding them rats and things like that. Then we got this weird looking specimen, the octo eyeball or whatever. This thing is creepy. I mean, we're gonna see a little bit more of them a little later, but this thing is creepy and diabolical. Like I just so much of these things, so much of this thing, whatever this is, I don't like it. I don't like it. Then of course we see that there are also face huggers here on board. So they have definitely been collecting a lot of different species, including the xenomorph stuff too. So that's not it. And they also have a xenomorph egg. So they've got the egg, they've got the face hugger. They've been busy. Now, what I would love for us to see, and maybe they'll show this in the flashbacks, I'm not sure, but like, I need to see, where did y'all get all this stuff? How did y'all find all this stuff? Because there are so many other questions. I still need to know, where's David? If y'all know from Prometheus and Covenant, David done went and created a lot of the xenomorphs, and he done left. I'm like, did y'all go follow him? Is that what happened? Because there's some gaps here, and we need to figure this stuff out. But anyway, we see that they have more creatures here. I don't know what this is. This was some other bug-like creature that they found. But anyway, we fast forward. We get to the Prodigy Island, and on this island, we are introduced to this little girl. Her name is Marcy. She's speaking to Kirsch about the scorpion, and it seems like he's asking her, like, what should we do about the scorpion? And it almost feels like they're doing like a philosophical type of exercise that maybe will later translate into the aliens. And of course, the doctor arrives. I think her name was Sylvia, Dr. Sylvia, if I'm not mistaken. And it's pretty apparent that this girl is sickly. She's looking like she's about to die. And when she was asked if the scorpion should die, she says no. And I think that that's just valuable insight for us into her way of thinking and her character overall. Like, even if she's afraid of something, even if she doesn't know about something, she ain't no killer, right? And that's cool. And by the way, Kirsch looks kind of creepy here. Now, I know we find out later, but at this point, I'm like, I have no idea what this dude is. Because now that they've introduced these 3 different types of people, I'm like, yo, are you a cyborg? Are you a android? Are you a hybrid? Or are you just weird? We just don't know. Not yet, anyway. But Timothy Oliphant, man, dude was acting his tail off, because I'm like, yeah, you definitely something off. Anyway, guys, we keep walking down this hall, and we see this dude watering the wall. And I don't know what this is. I don't know why. If there are any theories as to why or what he's doing, please feel free to let me know. But he keeps watering this wall for whatever reason. I'm guessing that's going to be important later. Anyway, we see a body on the table, and Marcy walks over, and this is where we also get to meet for the first time Boy Cavalier. He tells her that she's going to be like the very first human that's going to go from a real body into a synthetic. And we find out that this whole experiment is also one big secret. So this is not something that's public information. Nobody knows about this innovation at this point. So again, at this point right now, we had cyborgs and we had synthetics, but now having a human consciousness go into a synthetic, that's a game changer. That's a completely different thing that we have never experienced just yet. So now that Wendy has or now Marcy, her new name is now Wendy, she's gotten up, she's woken up, and she's out there. Like, she is got super strength, she's got super speed, she's got crazy durability, she can jump from tall locations and she can run like crazy. She's got a new body and she's feeling great. Now she's in a session with Dr. Sylvia and Kirsch. And she told her that, like, yo, first of all, my body, I don't like it, right? Like it feels weird. I don't know why I got these things on my chest. I don't like them. They move when I run, and they were like, listen, you got a synthetic body. You're not going to grow old. The emotions that you feel, a lot of those things you're going to have to simulate, because the human body would produce hormones, and your body's not doing that. So you have to simulate a lot of those things. And they told her that, and she was like, and Kirsch was like, listen, you already not even human no more. But the doctor was pushing back on this. And again, I think this is where that philosophical debate is really going to come in, as in, are these hybrids still human, or are they all machine? Is it like the question of the body, it's a vessel for the mind, right? Well, or is that the soul? That's probably going to be an ongoing question throughout this series, and I'm here for it. I definitely took a lot of philosophy classes in my college days, so this is already tingling my brain, just exploring these type of questions. And of course, this whole time, Boy Cavalier, he's listening to all of this. So that's creepy also, but it is one of those big brother type of situations. You can't have no private conversation, clearly, with him all around. But Wendy was then told that she was not going to be alone. Other children were going to be arriving very soon, and she was basically going to be their big sister in a sense. We see that, many of the kids that do come, they are also terminal or terminally ill. And they learn that one of the conditions of getting a new body is you have to be young, right? Like, adult minds are quote unquote too stiff to go into these synthetics. And immediately when I heard that, I started thinking about a couple of things. I mean, for one, it was like, okay, you about to use kids, and just knowing how movies and TVs go, kids are usually an excuse to create dumb situations or characters to do dumb things, so that way you can move the story along, right? Uh-oh, you're a kid, don't go that way. They go that way because they're dumb and they're a kid. Okay, now we got to go save the kid, blah blah blah. Now I do believe, that was my first initial reaction to this. Thankfully, since we see a couple episodes moving forward, they make this a little bit more complex. And I do like the direction they're going in so far. We'll get there. But the one thing that immediately came to my mind was, is this actually true? Is it true that you need kids to get into these bodies because adult minds are too stiff? Or is that a choice that just so happened to be made? Because if you think about it, this reminds me, and this is no shade, but it reminds me of the military, any military, right? It's not a coincidence that the military will start recruiting at young ages of like 16, because it's easier to mold a young mind than it is, an older person, a more mature mind. So, it's easier to get them to follow orders. It's easier for them to learn. It's easier to train them. So I am wondering if this is like some deviousness going on, or if it just really is true, because, young minds probably are easier to grow. I wonder if that is the case, as to why they don't go with adults, in this case. But we'll have to wait and see if that matters. But of course, dealing with kids, things can still go wrong. They can still go wrong either way. Now, next up, let's see, what else we have. So we see here that the kids, they are now going under the transition, and they are now able to get their new bodies along the way. And we see here that they've all pretty much been able to see their old bodies along, as they wake up in the new ones. And I could only imagine that there's got to be some psychological impact to that, right? Like, you wake up and you see yourself, but you're not yourself because you're in a different body. Yikes. And you're talking about kids. kids having that too. So I can only imagine that that would go that might develop into something else later. But as we go here, we see here like something is running through these tunnels, and we're back at the ship. And this is where I won't say this is present time at this point, and Morrow is communicating with Mother, the computer, and of course the Weyland company, and he has locked himself in the room. And even and now we see like why he's a cyborg, and I guess he's able to, do some things with his arm or whatnot. He was able to get that door to fuse it up, even though old girl is out there panicking and yelling for him to help her in some way. He's like, yeah, I can't hear you. Uh and yeah, she's clearly about to face one of the xenomorphs. We see Morrow basically saying, "Yep, everybody's dead. They all gone, right?" And he sends all that information to Mother. And as he's doing that, did y'all notice? Maybe it was just me. Did y'all notice how that xenomorph did a smooth criminal moonwalk right back? Like after he got rid of old girl, because old girl was never gonna live. That she was a wrap. This xenomorph did a smooth criminal moonwalk and was like, "Oh, what do we have here?" That's the way I saw it anyway. And immediately started going after the door, trying to break it down. Morrow finds a way to get into the little safe space of the ship, because the ship is about to crash, and he narrowly makes it as the xenomorph like approaches, and it's trying to bang itself in there, and he's cool as a cucumber. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, is this part of being a cyborg? Because ain't no way you about to have me walking calm and cool and collected like that when that thing is right outside. No, cannot do it. No, wouldn't be me. Anyway, right now, I'm thinking to myself, this dude sabotaged the ship. He had to, because we've seen this before where like the androids will be like on a whole different mission, and they care about is the specimens. And this dude is on the same type of deal right now. And the ship obviously is crashing. There's no way that they can stop it. And he doesn't even look like he cares. And we know that these companies are crooked, like the others have said. So I'm thinking he probably sabotaged his ship at this point. And that's where this is headed. So now we're in the new Prodigy City. So remember, these companies they've taken over like a lot. And this is where we see Wendy watching her brother Joe. We learn that he's a medic, and he believes that his sister has died, right? Because she had that bad illness. Now he's watching. Now we see pictures of the family. That was their dad, Joe, and Marcy at the time. And we see him watching Ice Age, and he's kind of sharing. I guess I don't know, the same. Maybe he's rooming with these little kids, or maybe they share like a little apartment or something. But he's watching Ice Age on the screen through a projector. But this is also reminiscent to what he used to do with Wendy. So while he's doing this, with these little kids, she's watching this as well, and she's remembering the good times, back when she was younger with her brother, and doing that. But now we go out and see that the ship from outer space, it's coming down, and it's coming down fast, and this thing has crash landed into the city, and this is a problem. So Joe and his team, they jump into action. They're part of the Prodigy rescue team, and they are going to go help out all the people that are part of this crash site. Morrow gets up and notices that the company, well, he noticed all the dead bodies, and he didn't even care about that. He barely even blinked. But he did notice that the Prodigy people were on the ship, so he hurries up and tries to secure some weapons. Wendy does some tests, but she notices that her brother is in the wreckage of that ship. So she goes to Boy Cavalier and offers herself and the other hybrids to go on the ship. The new hybrids, they're talking about their existence, right? Like, do they die? Do they last forever? Do they have to recharge their batteries? Like, they're asking these questions, which are pretty valid questions, right? And especially coming from childlike minds, that is probably still hard to comprehend what's going on for them. But before they could soak all that up, Wendy was like, yo, it's go time. We got to get up out of here. The search and rescue team, we see they have entered the lab with a lot of those specimens. One of these things gets on Buddy's neck. I'm sorry. If you are not comfortable with body horror, insects, and stuff like that, this is not the show for you, because that's all they was doing. And I'm not gonna lie, I kept like just swiping at my own neck. I'm like, bro, how do you not feel this? How do you only feel some of this? Ain't no way this alien, as big as it is, ain't no way it's that light that you don't feel it at all on your whole neck and then your back. It went inside your shirt. Nah, I would have stripped down. Like, nah, I'm done. That's it. First of all, you walking into a lab with busted glasses and stuff. I'm not coming into none of this. I'm like, y'all gotta quarantine this yourselves. That's not my job. Get somebody else to do it. Couldn't be me. Anyway, Morrow comes in, and he sees like the security people there. He sees the search and rescue people, and he basically ties them up, and he's basically leaving them. And it was funny because like the same dude was like, "Hey man," he was like, "Hey brother, don't leave us like this." Morrow was like, "I ain't your brother." See, and that's once again, it don't matter what galaxy they from or whatever. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Okay, Morrow don't care about them. Anyway, now we see more of the search and rescue, and they're examining some of the crew, and they see that basically some of these species and specimens and stuff, they came out of those capsules. Something came out of them. Okay. And we do see the dead face huggers as well. And yeah, this is not good. Ooh, and on that soldier's face, that same bug, and now he feel it. Now he feels this thing as it's crawling on his face, but his hands are tied up. He can't do nothing about it. And all of a sudden, this thing done turned into a big old bag of just blood. Like, it's just sucking away, drying him up like a whole raisin. And there's nothing he can do. And this thing is only getting bigger. So this creature is somewhat, I don't know, some kind of leech or something. And yeah, it gets on both of them, and they dead. They both dead. Anyway, we see Wendy and Kirsch, and Kirsch is like, having this conversation with her, and it's kind of a weird one. He's like, humans, they stop being food, and it's all good until there's something bigger out there that's gonna come and eat y'all up and stuff like that. But I don't think like he's really trying to have anything serious about this. Like, I think he's just trying to get Wendy to realize that she's probably more of a synthetic than she used to be as a human. And again, I think we're going to deal with this conversation going back and forth. Are they machines? Are they humans? We don't know. But that's what it definitely seems like he was pushing for in this case. And that's where we end the episode. So that is it for episode 1. So let's see here. This is where I'm going to go ahead and give my quick review for this episode. And while I'm doing that, I need you guys to let me know, what did you think about episode 1 on a scale from 0 to 10? While you're doing that, I'll give some quick thoughts. I definitely enjoyed the introduction. I liked where the exposition immediately exploded the lore and the mythology and the myth, all the stuff. This world building is insane, because right now, from that first 20 minutes, I want to say, I feel like you can have the whole franchise going different episodes in different directions. You can, my mind is running saying like, okay, for the last couple Alien movies, everything has been through the Weyland-Yutani perspective, because that's all we knew with synthetics and stuff. Does that mean that they won the war? Did they win this race for immortality? Are synthetics the answer? What happened to androids? What happened to the other companies? Did they fizzle out? Do we get to see that maybe they thrived and they're just in a different direction? We don't know. So I'm already here for the fact that y'all opened up this can of worms and it is exploding my imagination right now. So I love the different elements with the synths and the cyborgs and stuff like that. Um, I also like the whole idea with the companies. I'm curious about the perspective of each company. I'm also really into the not theological, the philosophical, thank you, the philosophical questions that are being raised, because this is an interesting question of like, yo, what are these things? Are these things actually humans? Did you actually copy someone's soul, or did you just make a 0-in-1 copy of it digitally? Are you actually killing these kids? Did they actually die and we're just running around with advanced AIs instead? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot to go off of this with this. And of course, I am so interested and what these specimens are. We got that octo eyeball that's rolling around. You got the leech bug things, and of course, like, by the way, the xenomorph. Listen, there was a lot going on. I like this. This had my curiosity up like immediately. And I'm so glad that they dropped this with 2 episodes so we can hurry up and jump into it. But I was with it. I'm probably gonna go ahead and give episode 1 an 8.5 out of 10. Definitely had my attention. I enjoyed it. I was here for it. But let's see, where do y'all land on that? Let's see. Where. I want to see where y'all feel. Okay, we have got an 8, 9, 8.5, a 5. Dang. Okay, 9, 8.5, 9. 9, 8.5, 8, 7.5. Okay, 8, 8, 8.5, 8, 9, 8.5, and a 9. Okay, all right. Dang, Andrew, you don't. What happened? Why you hate this episode? A 5? Ooh. All right, all right. Let's see. Excuse me. Next up, we have. I think it's time for episode 2. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me grab this. Mike, what you got? Be careful. I'm a plumber. Oh, okay. So, just real quick. I don't have anything against plumbers. I did have something against the plumber that came to my house, though, because, and you can relate to this. It was the not the bowl, but the tank. The bolts in my toilet, they were rusted. And because they were rusted, there was a slow leak. And with that slow leak, it went down to the ground and under the toilet for, I don't know, a while. For however long. And because it kept leaking, it went into the floorboards and just wet up the whole, ceiling of the kitchen that was right below. So I'm sitting here thinking like, oh man, like, this is going to be crazy of a repair. The plumber that came out, he was like, "Oh, yeah, you gonna need a whole new toilet. Or better yet, no, I can replace all this stuff in here for $700. But I'll give you a deal for $700." I was like, first of all, if you can't look me in the eye when you giving me a price, I know you BSing. Okay, I'm from around the way. I know what you ain't gonna out hustle me. What you talking about, bro? I was like, first of all, a new toilet costs $100 something, $50 or whatever. And you're gonna sit here and charge me $700 just to replace the inside guts? And we're only talking about the bolts. I'm going to replace the bolts myself. And those things cost like $10. Get out my face. You're trying to rob me in my face. Get out my face. So I have no problem with plumbers. I got a problem with that guy. I ain't gonna say his name, but he definitely tried to swindle me like that. It's like, man, get out of here. You would have been better off just saying, "Hey man, I put in a new toilet for $300. You buy the toilet." What? I would have been like, all right, whatever. I mean, I'm not a handy guy like that, but I'm not stupid. Okay. Anyway, Luckily, my wife has all the brains. She is like the handiest person. It is crazy. It is crazy. She fine and she handy. Crazy. All right. I deal with the tech stuff. That's what I do. I do that. Okay, let's go on. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you. Let's move on to episode 2. All right, so now we're on episode 2, and this is where things start to pick up, right? We're on this ship, and things have definitely gotten bad. We have all these random alien species running around. We don't even really know what they are or what they're doing. We don't know, but we do know that things are about to go down. So let's go back to the rescue team who is on the ship here. And as they are investigating, they can find or they start to find some of the dead bodies of the previous crew. And Joe deduces that basically some of them died of like a toxin, and their bodies had like somebody else had like foreign bodies in their GI tract, but those foreign bodies are all gone. Can we just hold on? How many does it take? How many red flags do you need to just be like, you know what? I'm going home. How many? You just walk through, first of all, a ship crashed. You know that there are alien specimens on this ship. You don't know what they are. You don't know what they do. The whole crew is dead. Not just like, oh man, we died in the crash. No, they sliced and diced and bursted dead. How many signs do you need to sit here and just be like, guys, this is above us? We are search and rescue. That whatever that is, that's containment and hazard and stuff. Like that's a whole different division. And then you're gonna sit here and say whatever was inside that man is gone. Where is it? Where is it? Is it airborne? Is it y'all ain't even got no hazmat suits, no nothing? I'm just saying, like, for an advanced technological society, these folks is dumb. They are dumb. Y'all, I'm just saying, I don't know if they run across aliens every other day and they just like, whatever, you know, we'll just walk into this scene. Y'all, I wouldn't even say better than me. Y'all dumb. Y'all dumb. I would have been like, man, I don't care how many credits I owe. Put it on my tab. I'll do the next assignment. Not me. Nah, I already owe too much. Whatever. Everybody's already a slave anyway in this world, so whatever. Anyway, of course, and I like this too. If you pay attention, and by the way, this is not the type of show that you could just put on, play on your phone and not be. No, they be listen. That alien be flying across the screen, and you don't even know it, or they'll be in the background because they make the alien blend in and stuff, just moving, and you just be missing it. So I love the fact that they do that here. It just adds the whole creepiness and the horror aspect of this. So I'm here for it. I love it. Anyway, so they Dr. Sylvia and Boy Cavalier, they're having a conversation about the work that they're doing with these hybrids and stuff. And she views it as, listen, we are expanding humanity. We have, we're trying to cure death. But at the same time, it needs to be nurtured. It needs to be taken care of. You can't just because otherwise people will just revert into machines, right? We need our emotions and thoughts and stuff. And he's like, listen, this ain't even about the money. I don't care about none of that. Boy Cavalier just wants to talk to somebody that's smarter than him. And he ain't talking about somebody that's book smart. He wants to talk to someone that's like full of wisdom. So he really believes that Wendy and these other hybrids, because they have these indestructible bodies and they can live forever, because they have these childlike minds that can kind of grow over time, He believes that at some point they're gonna have like a certain conversation because that's all he's looking for. He wants to have a conversation with somebody wise, which is wild to me because I'm like, you would think maybe that's the whole point of the supernatural. The whole point of supernatural is to explore questions beyond what we know. So I'm already assuming he's clearly not a religious or spiritual kind of guy, right? He's not looking for that, but he's trying to find something similar, or maybe, for all we know, religion is dead here. Maybe, I don't know. But he wants to have a conversation with somebody smarter than him, and that's his real MO here. We see Joe is in the residential building, and as they are crossing over the levels, he feels a little something on his shoulder. It's a little drool on his shoulder, and he looks up, and placow, here comes the alien with his grill, jumping down, nearly gets him, and my man is footing it to the elevator and barely makes it by the hair on his chinny chin chin. Whew! And he hurries up and radios for help. Yo, when I tell you, this man was so lucky to make it. Because I'm sitting here like, I don't understand how this 8-foot alien, maybe the alien is just slow. How you not catch him? That should be easy fresh meat for you right there. Anyway, we find out one day earlier that we see Joe. He was actually trying to put in his files. He was trying to get his papers to leave for school. And we also learn here that Wendy is actually watching him. But not only is she watching him, she was rewriting some of the code on the machine to communicate with him. And that shocks everyone because they're like, yo, synthetics ain't supposed to be able to do all that. Who gave her the Bluetooth connection? What is this? She ain't supposed to do that. But she was rewriting stuff on the fly. So that kind of just shows that clearly she's able to maybe evolve, or she's able to exhibit certain skills that was beyond what they anticipated. So she is able to communicate with machines in some way, and that is definitely something that is helping her out, especially how she's communicating with her brother. And what's wild is the fact that she sat here and through the machine denied him. She denied his transfer to the other planet. So basically, she's the reason why he is stuck there in the first place. She punched it because she didn't want him to leave. Remember, like, she's stuck here. He doesn't know that she exists. She can only watch him through monitors and stuff. So she, for selfish, childlike reasons, wanted her big brother, and she denied him from going and leaving. So, again, I think that this is probably where she is feeling guilty, and that's probably why she wanted to do the rescue mission so bad. And yeah, but now we also see something weird going on, that she hears a weird crackling noise in her ear. And I was kind of curious about this because I don't know if like what exactly this is. But we do notice something here, and that's while she's there, we can see, as you can see up here, this is Wendy's vision. We can see that it's actually Boy Cavalier who can see through her. He can see through her eyes, right? So this is something that's actually a new development that we had no idea about. Now, we don't know if the other companies can do this too with their synthetics. And keep in mind that Boy Cavalier, his company was the strong suits were synthetics and AI, right? So he knows about synthetics very intimately. So the question is, can any and all companies see through and hack through their synthetics and see things? Now, what makes this interesting is this might actually answer some questions as to some of the plot holes or some of the gaps in the story when it comes to the Alien franchise. So, for example, some people might be like, yo, how did these companies know? How did the Weyland-Yutani company know about xenomorphs at all? Well, if this is truly taking place only 2 years after Alien Covenant, David was a synthetic. It's possible that everything and anything David was doing was probably being viewed or recorded or uploaded to the companies, and they were able to see all of that. So that's probably why. And we know what David was doing with all of his experiments and stuff. So it's possible that this is how they learned about a xenomorph. This is how they learned about the face huggers and what to do and why they wanted to study them, because David was being used the whole time. So this is really interesting to see that they can see through these synthetics. And you know, it was funny because like the crackling sound or whatever that was in her ear, first thing that I thought of, and listen, some of y'all are young, I know I'm about to date myself a little bit. This reminded me of like back in the day with the landlines before the internet. Well, actually during the internet. And when you be on the phone and you talking and somebody else on the other line, they pick up the other line and you heard that little click, and that's how you knew somebody was listening to your conversation, you know. Or if you was on the phone and somebody tried to jump on that dial-up and all you heard was you know, and you couldn't even be on the phone. So I'm wondering if that crackling in her ear was something like that, you know. And we're seeing, you know, Boy Cavalier in a sense kind of hacking through her, because if you go back and look, it was only her that could hear that noise. The other synthetic could not hear that noise. So this could be the case. Again, this was only Wendy's that he was looking through. So I do wonder if that's kind of why she, or what she was hearing and why she was hearing it. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, excuse me, she finds her brother on the camera and heads out. And once again, what is this dude doing? What is he doing? This has got to be something later on that we're gonna find out. I don't know what it is, but he's clearly cleaning something. But as we go through, she finds her brother, she heads out. Boy Cavalier gets his phone call, and this is now the Yutani from Weyland-Yutani company. And she's calling in about the ship that crashed in the building, and she's making the offer. She's like, yo, I got some money, you know what I'm saying? Like, I throw you a little bread your way and, you know, repair them damages. I just want my ship. And he was just like, man, please, you know how this all works. Like, you know, get your lawyer. Get your lawyer. Okay, let them hash it out. And he was basically like, nah, I want everything on that ship. Bring it to me. Okay. So now we see Wendy. She can still hear the crackling sound, and she knows that something is there. Right now, this is weird, because now I'm like, wait a minute, Boy Cavalier is not listening to her, or he's not watching through her that we can see. So what is it that she's actually listening to? What is this crackling that she can hear, apparently? Then we see Kirsch and his team, and they find this weird plant thing, and the other team goes and finds the dead rescue team, you know, and the specimens. They go to dead. The leech thing started crawling with a big old belly sack of blood. Man, they are doing a lot with these aliens and stuff, and I'm with it. It's nasty, but I'm with it. Anyway, we got the other hybrids here, and all of a sudden we see a bad little kitty. Okay, and clearly this bad kitty was possessed by the octo eyeball, and the thing looked at the redheaded girl and immediately went straight for her eyeballs. But did y'all see this thing turn into a spider octo eyeball? Like, it was web slinging and everything, and it was trying its hardest to get on her eye and everything. Like, first of all, you had an alien eyeball web slinging back and forth. How? Just how? Oof. And it's going for your eyeball. Listen, whatever the writer creators, I got to give them credit. Because if you think about it, one of the scariest places on your body to be touched is an eyeball. Don't touch my eyeball. I don't even like touching my eyeball. Right? So, and it's crazy because these are still synthetics. I mean, they're hybrids. So their bodies are, they're not biological. So it's kind of awkward. And I wonder what's interesting. I wonder why this eyeball thing would run, because what we are also used to is these alien specimens. Now, we don't know about all of them. They go after other biological creatures, right? The eyeball went after the cat and took control of the cat. Now, I gotta say, the fact that this eyeball tried to go after this girl, it probably just doesn't know that she's a hybrid, right? But you have to imagine, and I'm just spitballing the theory here. If this eyeball takes control of a human, do you know how messed up that will be? This thing has got to stop. This octo eyeball is going to be a problem. It has to be, because this is wild. Just wild. Anyway, they managed to actually capture it and hold it down. Let's see. Wendy is still looking for Joe. Joe actually finds his other teammate, and they do come across an apartment, and this has like all these rich people that are dressed up in some weird I don't know, cosplay, whatever, from the French Revolution, aristocratic stuff or whatever. Clearly there's some commentary here about the rich, but like what I loved here, again, you cannot sleep on this episode. You can't. Like, remember, look, you saw it. Look at the artwork in the background, and this alien just be coming out of nowhere, just posing and moving when it needs to move. And yeah, this thing basically came up and said, "What's up? Y'all having a party? Can I come? Thanks." Yeah, this thing went and killed everybody. Just they all died. All of them did. Just they all did. And for whatever ridiculous plot armor, look at this. This thing leapt from the second level, going after Joe again. And this man got saved by Morrow. The alien was about to attack Joe, and Morrow came and zapped it up. When I tell you the plot armor on this man is ridiculous. On Joe, how are you alive? And then Morrow knocks him out clean and use some webbing, look like some Spider-Man webbing or something, to cocoon up the alien. And then he captured it. Anyway, old girl is shook. Like, this little hybrid girl, she is shook up. You can see her face, just yikes. Now, Kirsch does come down into the lab, and he finds out what's going on. And this is where we finally get confirmation that he's definitely a synthetic. So now that explains why he was so weird all this time. And he downloads all the information about all the about basically everything that happened with the crew, everything that happened on the ship. He downloads all the information about the specimens and stuff. And Morrow, he's about to leave with his specimen, with his xenomorph, but unfortunately for them, the rescue team actually caught up with him, and they try to stop him. And he's like, "Man, y'all need to chill out, because I am not the biggest problem here. Y'all need to relax, turn around, go away." Of course, they don't want to listen. When the brother tells them to stop, they don't want to listen. So as he's about to go, they start getting scared, and this xenomorph comes right out, and he told them this thing can sense fear. It can sense fear. And of course, they got scared, and the alien gets to work. And all of a sudden, my man had a whole lot of hot breath on his neck. But it did not matter, because he became one with himself. He had that perfect moment of zen. He was not scared. And that alien said, "I bet I'm going to go on and do my business. Have a nice day." So now we learned something else. Okay. They just added a whole new level to this whole alien franchise, because the last time we saw an alien get that close and breathe that hot breath, what was that, Alien 3? But that was only because Ripley was pregnant with the queen, right? So now that Ripley had the queen, we thought that was the only way that a xenomorph would not actually attack somebody. And I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, well, maybe it's because Buddy is a cyborg, but he's introducing this whole thing that if you're not scared, the alien won't attack. It can't sense you or something. Now, this is kind of crazy because I'm sitting here thinking like, who the hell is going to see this 8-foot tall scorpion looking monster and not have immediate urination? How are you not going to exude whatever fear is in your body, them toxins? How does that not happen? Are you dead? Are you alive? Because I don't understand how any reasonable human being could be like, oh, monster over there. Sit. Sit. No scary. How? Who? In what world? I need to know, how did Morrow learn this? How did he know this? Like, unless you are drunk, okay? Like, yes, you're gonna have to be high. You're gonna have to be under some strict medication to not be scared of any type of alien. Now, this, by the way, needs to work exactly in the favor if they do a scary movie. Go ahead and put an alien in there. Put Marlon Wayans' character in there. Put somebody in there that's high, and when they see the alien, they just laughing it up, because that's the only way you're gonna live. You're gonna have to not take this alien seriously for it to leave you alone. Anyway, I'm just they added a whole new element, and that was it. That, shout out to them. Now, what is this? What is this? We have yet again another species. I have no idea what this is. I don't know what it's doing. I can't explain it. But I'm so intrigued because I don't know if this is like it looks like what was that? What was that old movie? Little Shop of Horrors. Seymour, feed me, Seymour. That's what it looked like. It looked like that big old plant from Little Shop of Horrors. And here's the other crazy thing. Why does this thing react to him? Keep in mind, this is another hybrid. This is another hybrid. This is all, his whole body is all synthetic. It's not biological. Can this thing see him? Can it see him? Oh man, these specimens, they are something else. We need to learn more. I know that. We absolutely need to learn more. Now Kirsch, he goes ahead, he finds out that they also got some xenomorph eggs here. And keep in mind, he's downloading all the information, so he knows whatever the ship and the crew knows at this point. All right, Wendy is still looking for Joe, and Joe wakes up and he actually finds a Reggie Jackson autographed baseball. When I tell you, just for a second here, I am a sports memorabilia collector, primarily sports cards and stuff. This irked my entire soul. Like the collector in me was so pissed off when this man put his bare hands, bare bloody hands, all over this baseball and the signature. Stop touching this. Where are your white gloves? This bothered me to no end. Because if you smudge that autograph, like, what's the point? What's the point? Why was this not in a glass case? Like, who? I know these were rich people. I'm just saying, like, that's got to be at least a fulfilling credits. I don't know what money they use. I think they use credits, but that's expensive. Baseball don't even exist no more at that point. Anyway, that kind of pissed me off. So Joe, then Wendy finds him. right? Now he believes that Wendy and Slightly are both synthetics because at this point, again, synthetics and cyborgs are the only thing people knows, but they avoid telling him the truth. They don't want to, she wants to keep the secret about their whole relationship. And Kirsch is calling them back. He's like, yo, I need y'all to come back and secure these other specimens. I don't care about your brother. Bring your tails back. And while they're walking, Slightly old goofy self ends up spoiling the secret that Wendy is actually his sister, Marcy. And of course, Joe just cannot believe this. This is wild. It's crazy. Again, this is not something that is known. No one knows about this technology. So this is new for everybody. And he can't believe it. And she told him, like, that, yo, boy Cavalier, he helped her. And dad told him to keep it a secret. He started grilling her, asking her questions, and she answered all the questions, right? He answered all the questions, and she was convinced at this point, like, oh my gosh, that's my sister, right? And they do end up walking in, finding more. They find the xenomorph eggs, and immediately, first of all, Boy Cavalier is happy about this, but you could see that the alien, the xenomorph itself, started rushing and running right back to the eggs. And this is where, in case you did not know, Wendy started hearing something again. So now the question is like, wait a minute. Is Wendy hearing something because of what Boy Cavalier may or may not be doing? Or is she hearing the alien in some way, shape, or form? Well, we won't know. Not yet, anyway, because Joe, once again, is in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he just got. He almost put his face in front of that xenomorph egg, and that was just dumb. And out of nowhere, the xenomorph comes in and tackles this man like a linebacker in the NFL through a hole, and he's down there. And now Wendy is like, "Yo, I gotta go get my brother. Wait here." And Slightly's like, "All right." And that's where they end episode 2. Let me just say real quick, there is no way Joe should still be alive. There's no way. Like, Joe should be dead. He should be dead at least 3-4 different times. I swear, if he was not Wendy's brother, if he was not important to the script, this man would be dead 50 minutes ago. Second he showed up on screen. Anyway, that's it for episode 2. Hold on, I got a comment here. My man, Talented One, thank you. Boy Cavalier would Sagat laugh at religion. I could see that. I think he would. His character strikes me as the type to think believing in God is lazy and a catch-all for limited minds. Totally understand that. And that is a thing, right? Like, that is a thing where you will have a lot of highly intellectuals be atheists, or if they're a little more humble, agnostic. But I could totally see that. Actually, I would love to see if they even explore that in this series. Like, does he even consider religion or whatever? But yeah, no, I think that he fits that archetype perfectly. So I'm with you on that for sure. All right, guys, that is it for episode 2. This is the point where I can give you guys my review. And again, I need you guys to let me know, what did you think about this episode on a scale from 0 to 10 while you guys are chit-chatting and letting me know. Let's see. Definitely picked up the action here. We got to I'm loving these specimens. I'm loving the fact that we are getting to see what these specimens kind of sort of do. This is some nice teasing. That, like, again, to give me this as an episode 1 and a 2 really worked well. And I like the elevation of the tension. Great cliffhanger as well. And I'm here for, like, the writing. I like the writing about this. I like the fact that we're exploring the motivations of Boy Cavalier and what are you doing here and what are you trying to accomplish. So yeah, I don't really have very much bad to say about it. I'm probably gonna give this on a scale from 1 to 10, probably another 8.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it, thought it was cool, definitely elevated things, and I cannot wait to see more. But let me see, what do the people think. We have got a 9, 9, 9, 8.5, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 7. Okay, Andrew, a little bit better. Okay, 9, a 10, and an 8. Okay, all right. Well, here we go. Here we go. Oh, we got another 8. All right. Okay, guys. Well, that's it for these 2 episodes. Like I said, the 3 episodes are out, right? So you should go watch the 3rd episode if you haven't already. Episode 4 will be coming out Tuesday night, I believe. I don't know if that's Monday midnight or Tuesday at 7. I don't know. If somebody knows the time, feel free to let people know what it is. But the episode comes out on Tuesday. So you got 2 episodes. If you haven't watched anything else, watch 1, 2, then watch 3. We will talk about 3 tomorrow, and then we'll talk about 4 on Wednesday. All right, we'll go through all of that. I am going to. No, I won't say that. Okay, I'll leave it there. Guys, I can't wait to talk about the episode 3 tomorrow with you all. I am loving this show so far. So we will have to go through this tomorrow, and I cannot wait. So make sure you guys are back here same time. We'll probably do this around 7 Central. What is that? 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. I'll try and get you guys in and out, and we'll go through that. I gotta go watch Peacemaker. I believe we're gonna be covering Peacemaker as well, so we'll go through that as well. It's gonna be a busy week. All right, we're gonna be here for a minute. But I want to thank you guys for taking time to hang out with me. See you guys here hopefully tomorrow. Until next time, wash your hands, wash your butts, and everything in between. I'll see you guys later. Peace.